Well, hey, you guys. This is a fun sheet, but yeah, it can be a little complicated when you haven't seen this in a while. The Hey, that answer, whatever is on the sheet here for equation number one, is correct. And if you didn't know why, the things you email or you texted were correct. That -3 where it crosses the y-axis, that is something you're seeing there in the. Here, let me make this a highlighter so I can do this for you. Here we go. Come on, buddy. But anyway, that's the right idea. So when you see that -3 that's on there, that is the y-interceptor where it crosses the y-axis. And then the rise over the run that you were talking about, that change of, that's exactly right what you're thinking of, is that's the slope. So that's something you want to look into as well. So you're thinking all the right stuff here. I'm trying to get the right color so I can highlight this thing for you. All right, finally. So that slope that you see, that 2/1, is the rise over the run. So yeah, from -3, every you can gallop by rise of 2 and run of 1 and keep landing on the line. So yeah, that's the slope. And I think maybe how you got it, I see the 6/3 on the left-hand side right there, is because maybe you went up 6 all the way from -3 all the way up to +3. So if I highlight all the way up here, that's 6. That's a rise of 6 right there. And then you went over 3 that you did just a second ago from right here to here. So that's a nice big rise of 3, a run of 3. And you're thinking rise over run in 6/3 is the same thing as 2/1. So I think you're onto something. So whatever you mentioned was good. I'm going to do another one with you and kind of clear all these markings and see if that doesn't help you a little bit. So erase all my pieces here. Bring in a little picture. Sorry, it's taking a second. I'm kind of doing an ad hoc little deal here, but I'm going to make this real big so you guys can see it. Alright, done. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the next one, that CB equation that you see on there, and if I go from C to B, just to confirm what you already know, yeah, you're looking for an equation that has a y-intercept of 1. Can you see that crossing at 1? And then the rise and the run that you guys were calculating is going to give me that slope, and that's up to, from what I can see, I'm counting 2 spaces up. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing, and I'm seeing 3 spaces over. So up to over 3 going from C to B. So if I were to write the equation, what I would do is write the equation is y equals, now the slope that we got up to over 3, that you put into, oops, we're throwing a number, 2/3, that's the number you put in front of x. That's your slope. Okay, it goes in front of x, so that rise over the run, 2/3. The +1, the y-intercept where you cross, that's the y-intercept. Here it is, slope and y-intercept. That's where they appear in each equation. So if you can identify, like you've been able to, where it crosses the y-axis, we call it the y-intercept. That's that second number in the equation, the one that doesn't have an x with it. The slope, that slope, the rise over the run that you're calculating, that's the one that goes in front of the x. Okay, so it sounds like you're off to a very good start. So if you're going to calculate any slopes from here on out, or any equations, I'm sorry, from here on out, what you want to do is, if you can get between 2 points, any given 2 points, you can get the rise and the run. I mean, that's the up and down number versus, so I went from D to E there. I just made a little marking. And I don't think DE is one of your possibilities. Maybe it is. But if I were doing DE, that would be a rise of -4. So when I say rise, you have to, the negative means going down, and a run of 2 because it's to the right. So when you're going down, that's a negative rise. When you're going to the right, that's a positive run. You can also have a negative run if you go left. So anything that's rise, if you go down, that's a negative rise. If you go left, that's a negative run. This is the kind of thing where I'm talking and I'm thinking, this is a lot of information as you're absorbing it, but I'm just writing in some numbers. Why don't you just focus on what I wrote? Right there, as I'm going between these 2 points, down, down, down like this, that's a rise of -4. And I think of this as a run of +2. If I were to go to the opposite direction in either of those cases, it would change the sign, either positive to negative or negative to positive. Okay. The y-intercept is something that if I were able to make this a really nice line, like if I had some amazing tool that allowed me to go through 2 points really nicely, which this one is not allowing at the moment, sorry. All right, I'm going to undo that. My calculator's malfunctioning. But if I can make a really nice line between two things, I could actually figure out where it crosses. You could just keep going down and down and down. So that little line that I just made, hey, that crosses at -4. So if I were doing dE as an equation, I would say, hey, that little equation would be -4/2. That's my slope, down 4/2, my rise and the run. And then my y-intercept, it looks like -4, -4. Now, you have to simplify things like -4/2. You have to take care of that. You have to say, oh, that's actually y equals -2x minus 4 would be my equation for dE, if that were a question. And then you guys can work on matching, the question at the bottom. Email, text, whatever you need to if you have more questions, but that's just kind of an overview. It sounds like you're onto it, so I'll let you guys run with that.